Hello my convicts and convict. Yes, it is Article Convict bringing you guys and gals, yes, another video. So I want to do this one. I'm going to then get onto some work. I actually did a video that I did for yesterday because unfortunately I didn't get a chance to do too much yesterday. I was actually doing a lot of testing with something and I really wanted to test it through thoroughly. That's why you only saw the Apex Legends was actually for the day before that. But yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I did do a video saying, kind of explaining about it, but I've decided not to upload that, and I've uploaded this one instead. So there we go. So yeah, it is the morning, 8:47 this morning. Rio's gone to school, and I just thought I would get some thoughts out and that, and kind of explain a little bit why there wasn't a video per se done yesterday, and just some more little tinkering stuff that I've been doing and getting up to behind the scenes and doing stuff. So number one, obviously, just for those who are quite new, in October, we should hopefully be having a better idea of when we're getting this new fiber optic internet. So once I go full fiber, the thought in my head then just jumped in, you know, when you go full fiber, you'll never go back. But I don't think it quite works in that sense. But you get the idea. That's my brain in a nutshell. So yeah, we've got in October, we've got hopefully the beginning of fiber optic. We should get approached then after October to have the installation done by Connect Fiber, and then they'll come out, they'll survey the area, see if it's doable, and then obviously get on to work of putting in hopefully fiber optic. So I do believe I should get it. They did say that depends on obviously if there's any issues, that if they can't do it, they won't be able to do it. But I have looked at pre-orders, and there is a pre-order up there where you can actually search, and it does say I can get full fiber, 1,000 down, 200 up is what it says. So I'm definitely sure that's possible, and that it is coming here. Fingers crossed, because I was talking to Connect Fiber, and the guy seemed to be one of the guys that do the home installations. He's one of the guys that actually comes to do the home installations, so he knows a lot about that side. They said obviously they'll come, they'll survey, and then if it's capable of doing it, then obviously they'll do it. If not, then there might be some people that can't have it because it's too much to go into doing it, or if there's an obstruction or something. So I don't think that's going to be me, but it's going to be on a first ordered, first getting it kind of scenario. So whoever pre-ordered it first gets it first kind of mentality from what the guy said. So yeah, anytime after October, hopefully we should see some new fiber optic. Also, what I've been doing here, I've actually been doing a little bit more work with the DSL router, one that I've got, the AX82U it's called, from Asus. And I've actually been having an interesting time with it. I've actually found a secret feature, and I kind of wanted to show that secret feature as well. So I'll show that on here as well. Let me just go over to it. You won't be able to see it in a moment, but I'll log in so you can see it in a moment. Make sure that there's nothing you are not supposed to see. Right, let's go. It's down here, I believe. It is, yeah. Okay, that's it. Right, I'm going to shrink me. There we go. And here we are. So I've been doing a lot of work with this specific router and kind of going through all the different motions, been using adaptive QoS quite a lot to see if we can get that sorted and whatnot. And I actually found this golden nugget hiding away in administration side for the DSL setting. So I did a bit of research because I don't know what these do. And I was kind of intrigued to what they are and kind of wanted to have a look and see, you know, if there's anything change on here that might possibly change what happens to my connection as it's going out of the house and going to the DSLAM, it's called, which is basically the box in which the engineer has to go. If I have any problems, he'd have to go to that box and obviously go and fix the connection, and it goes from that box off to the exchange, and then exchange to the provider, I think it is. So it's like my connection to the exchange. So I was looking around and I actually found a couple of things regarding some of this stuff. So obviously DSL modulation, I know what that is. That's just basically the signal term for what mine's going out, and mine is VDSL2. Underneath we've got SRA, seamless rate adaptation. Now I clicked on it and it just gives you an explanation saying that for consistent data transfer files and prevent dropped connections. However, if your connection is very stable and you notice you've got a drop in download and upload speed, you can disable SRA. So SRA can help to stop dropped connections, but it also has an effect on download and upload. So I disabled that because it was actually enabled. So I've disabled that myself. BitSwap, this just says that enables BitSwap can adjust bits allocated from bins/channels. Busy or congested bins channels are assigned fewer bits, while available channels are allocated more bits to handle. And I was like, what is that? So I don't 100% know what this is. I do need to research this a little bit. But I'm assuming, or my thought was, it's something to do with like Wi-Fi, because it's talking about channels. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. So I'll have to have a look into what that is, and then we'll come back to that. Now, this is something I think I would like to have, but it's not on, it's off. So I kind of need to ask, and I did try and go for the provider and ask them to help with this, but straight over the head it went, and then they were just like, I don't know what you mean, blah, 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 let me have a look, can we connect to your computer now? It's like, no, because what I wanted to do, that they wanted to, you know, you do the two-way connection where you can connect to each other, and then they can look on your computer and move stuff around and things. I wanted to do that, and I was like, I don't really like that idea. Obviously, this computer's work computer is not something I would potentially want them to touch anything or look at anything on here, because if I'm giving them access, I don't know what else they can do. So I was like a little bit reluctant for that. So I've not done anything with it as of yet, but I do kind of want to get this done if it is at all possible. So what this basically stands for is impulse noise protection, and it works for all the different things, the ADSL, VDSL. It is enabled to provide enhanced protection against impulse noise, or to increase the efficiency of providing impulse noise protection. If your DSLAM does not support it, please disable it. So at the moment, I don't think that is on. I'll have to double check with them, but I'm sure it said it was off. I would really like to have that on, because if that helps with noise, that may obviously help the efficiency of it. So I was kind of asking them about it, but again, it just seems to go. And it's kind of awkward because you can't really speak to the engineers, because I would say this is more of an engineer OpenReach kind of thing. But you can't really speak to OpenReach because OpenReach won't speak to you. They only speak to the companies. But I really wanted to kind of speak to them and say, look, can you turn it on? And can I try it and see if it works better for my connection? Helps my connection to be better, more efficient. But yeah, you know how that went. We've got stability adjustment. This one I have messed about with. This item allows you to tweak the target SNR margin. You could set to negative value to maximize the downstream performance, but please note that the lower the value, DSL modem router will be weaker to defend the line noise. Sync loss might occur, so please adjust with proper value. However, if your XDSL connection is unstable or not able to establish a connection, setting to a positive value. So the one thing I took from this was, the lower you go, more performance. So I've gone here and I've actually clicked on it and I've set it to -6, the lowest it will possibly go, and I trialed it out. And I've actually had a good kind of response from it. So I'm not 100% sure if there's a problem, but I've not had any connection issues, not had it dropped out connections or anything like that. But I've noticed that my connection seems to feel better. Because before I had it set to, I think it was on disabled. And then I did go up to plus 14 and it didn't seem to do anything particular. I felt like I had to drop in download speed, but I actually have done more testing and it just seems to be my download speed was lower anyway. And I didn't even have adaptive QoS on at the time. So I think that's more because the engineers again doing the work. You've noticed before, I've said before in the videos, my download speed seems to have dropped and it's because of the work that they're doing. So I think it's just the ongoing of that that's caused that. Then we've got annex mode here and it says AL and M. This is for the ADSL portion. I've not touched this because again, I don't really know. I might research and see if any of these in specific supposed to be better than the others. I might try it and see if it's possible. But you can see annex mode here for VDSL is A/B. And then with these VDSL profiles, mine actually is 17A. I tried all the other ones and it didn't seem to work. But when I did put it on 17A, I kind of felt like my connection was a bit weird or it wasn't working as good. So I put it back to its original, which is multi-mode. The one that seemed to make the biggest sort of change was this, putting this down to -6. I've not seen any increase in download speed, but in general, kind of like detection and stuff, I felt like it was more on point. Hits were hitting better and shots were registering better. So I've left that currently as it is. Unfortunately, there's not one for upload speed. I really wanted to try one for upload speed, but there isn't an option for that. So I'm not able to, swap this to from downstream to upstream and sort of mess about with the upstream side of that, which is kind of a shame because I really wish this kind of feature worked with upload because my upload is my biggest offender in most cases. I've said this before because I only have 5 upload speed, but the upload speed is kind of weird because I've gone into NetDuma, I've used NetDuma, and whenever I've done the benchmark test, say that's the line it gives, the dotted line, the first line, and my download is kind of like here, and my upload is right up here. And then I have to do a lot of QoSing, about maybe 50%, and then my download is basically flat, same as my my first ping test, and my upload is just above, or it's on the line, but it's going boop, boop, boop. It's got a lot of spikes to it, but yet my download is as flat as the first test, which is like absolutely insanely, beautiful connection. But yet my upload's like kind of just above it or on that line, but then it's got loads of spikes to it, which is kind of annoying. And I have to kind of cripple my internet just to do it. So obviously trying to live stream with that would have been impossible, which is why often I used to just turn it off fully because I couldn't use and upload, do a stream as well, which is why one of the reasons why I kind of pull back on doing streaming until obviously this new connection comes in, and then obviously we'll go from there. So yeah, it's been interesting. So I've been testing and did a lot of testing yesterday. I definitely feel like this at the moment is where it's at. So if you do have this particular router, which is again the Asus DSL AX82U, you can see here in the top left corner here, look. Definitely go and try this. Go to admin, which is down here at the bottom, and then mess about with these a little bit. This one in particular, the stability adjustment. If you have got this as well, make sure this is enabled. But mess with this one. Don't need to mess with the other ones. Just mess with this one and make sure that this one's turned on, and maybe disable this one and see how it goes. Enable it if you think it's better enabled, sort of thing. Again, because like I said, it seems to have a drop on download and upload speed, so you can notice a drop. So definitely consider maybe disabling and enabling that and see how you go. I may enable that today and do some testing today and see what I think. But yeah, it's actually been working very, very well. And then I've got my adaptive QoS that I've turned on. I've turned on the adaptive one with the automatic setting so that it will run. So when I'm doing my tests and stuff, it will automatically lower and up my my speeds in order to match what the speed is. So if I come here to the internet test, I can test my speeds from here and then it'll tell me what my speeds are. Let's do a test now while we're here. Okay. Alrighty then. That can't be real. Let me just test that again. Just give it a minute or so. I've not actually done this test. But, okay. Alrighty then. That's interesting. That's interesting because I can only generally get this one. 32.19. Around 32, 34 is what I generally get. And 14. 514. I've had a significant jump in download speed. My download's gone. But my upload speed has increased just a little bit. Just a little bit. But my download speed's gone way higher. From 32, 34. Because generally I can only get 32, 34. So I definitely think that has an impact then. That's interesting. Very interesting. There you go. I've done it twice as well, and it's given me the same result twice. The only thing that did change a little bit was the jitter, which could be, I could try maybe adding that SRA and see if that controls that jitter. Because the jitter here, basically what this is line noise. And you want it to be obviously as low as possible. Ping hasn't changed, which is fine. But that is interesting that my download speed has increased a lot from where it normally would be. That's kind of nuts. So there you go. I guess it has made a difference. I have literally, that's the first time I've actually seen that. And I thought that's why I wanted to test it twice, just to make sure. But that's kind of nuts. Let me actually do it through speed tests, not on there. Ookla. This one, you can download the app from the same company. So this is speed test from speed test. But you can go and download the app on here and it'll actually do a test. Let me see what it does here. Does it do the same? 29 ping. Yeah, it's doing the same. So my download speed does increase a lot. And upload speed is actually better on this one than it is on that one. Not by much, but that's insane. That actually is improved, and I'm on 29 ping, which is not like amazingly great. It's only like one off from where before, but that's kind of interesting. So this is what I mean by the test I've been doing yesterday. But yesterday, all I was doing is going in, messing about with stuff, then activating it, then kind of going into Call of Duty, playing multiplayer, because multiplayer is the best way for me to sort of like measure it. If we're going to Warzone, it's very hard to measure it. If we're going to multiplayer, I run around and just run around like a madman, never stopping, and just try and get into as many gunfights as possible. And then again to those situations where I know I shoot them first and they shoot me afterwards, but yet I die first, and I'm like, no, that's not right. That's the kind of thing I've been testing and obviously kind of looking out for, but that is interesting that my download speed has improved drastically for no reason, and my upload speed has also improved a fair amount as well. From 514 to 526 is a big improvement, and the jitter from the second test actually was lower than the first test, which is 0.32. Even my test now has been better at 0.22 than it was obviously as that one, but that's interesting. That is very interesting to know that my download has improved beyond what it was. So I'll have to double check and see what else I can change and actually do some more speed tests. There you go, something new. I didn't think that was the thing. That's why I was like, oh, I might just do a speed test to see what happened. But I've not really been playing with speed tests yesterday. The main thing was just change it, play a game, change it, play a game, change it, play a game, sort of thing. And that's all I did yesterday, which is why I didn't get a chance to do a video. I was doing that much work on it, trying to see if I could actually make my speed as good as possible. Because I noticed yesterday while playing games, I was able to more actively take on gunfights, or there's like those long distance gunfights where I was shooting them first and shooting them for a long period of time, and we're like shooting at each other, but I still lost that fight even though I was hitting them first from like long distance. Even when mounted, still losing to them even though I was shooting them in the head and they were shooting at me. And it was kind of weird. And then there was situations where I kill one person, I'm like literally healed, and I get into another gunfight and then instantly die. And it's like, how? Like as if my health had not recovered at that time, which is kind of weird. But I've noticed that it has improved with the settings I've changed here. So if you do have this, definitely recommend go to administration, go to DSL setting and play with this one, and disable this one, maybe try it out, see what you think. If you can get this one, definitely have it enabled, and these, I just leave these alone. Leave this one particularly alone. I know what mine is. I know it's VDSL2. If you know what your DSL modulation is, then obviously you can set it to what that is, just in case it's got that kind of weird auto sync up where it changes sync for no reason. And kind of try it out and see what happens. Anyway, there we go. So I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully you enjoyed this little insight to what I was doing yesterday and what I'll be messing about with. I'm going to do more testing now that I've somehow increased my connection somehow and made it actually way faster than what it was before, which is kind of... Now that could be the SRA, possibly. Maybe this was slowing me down. I don't know. That is kind of odd. Let me move this over here 2 minutes. Let me just have a quick look at some DSL log. Does this actually show anything? No, it doesn't. I can bring this over before we finish here. So this is a really cool feature. If you go here to system log, and then go to the top to DSL log if you're on DSL, it actually tells you what your driver version is, your up state, obviously how long you've been up for, your VDSL modulation, that's why I know mine's VDSL2, Annex B, so the regional mode, what the actual board is in the actual unit that I'm connected to, the DSLAM, which is really cool to have, Infineon from Lantique. The current profile 17A, which I put this back to default, but it is down as 17A. The vectoring state, this is the one I'm on about, but it's unconfigured. which is why I was like, oh, okay, so if it's unconfigured, and this is that GINP look, which is off. I'll try and turn it back on and see if it makes a difference, and if this comes back on, but I definitely think that's turned off by them. They have turned it off. Now this is one I wanted to have a look into as well, interleaved and fastpath. Because interleaved apparently is more stable, but not as fast. And fastpath is faster, but it can be more unstable. And my upload speed is my issue. So I asked them, again, my provider speaking to tech team and saying, can you tell them to change the path mode from interleave to fast path and change like my upstream because it's down as fast path. Can I have that changed to interleaved and kind of try that out? And again, that's why I was like, oh, can we look at your computer and have like remote connection to your computer so I can see what you're seeing? And I was like, sort of thing, because I'd rather just send them a picture and just say this is what I mean, rather than have them have control of the computer at all. So I might try and send them a picture and then phone them up and say, can you just look at this? Or I might phone them up and say, if you get an email address, let me send you a picture of it, what I'm seeing, and then you can obviously send it to the provider, sort of thing. Right, so yeah, so these are all the things you can see. You can see the power, you can see the lines attenuation, which is weird that the upload doesn't have one. I don't know if that's his thing. This is on 6.2 decibels as well. I wish I could change that. Again, the SNR margin, because I can do it for downstream but not upstream, but I'd have to probably try and get Asus to do that. Or I'd have to phone up and tell them to get the engineer to change the upstream to 1.3 decibels. You can see like my data rates as well here, what the data rate actually is that I'm receiving. I think that's what I receive, and this is the max official data rate. So I should be able to achieve a max rate of 54 download and about 5,700 upload. So nearly like 8 upload. But this is really cool that this actually shows me, look, all the things here. And you can see the different ones here that's got for the VDSL band status. You can see 6.6, 1.4, 6.2, 1.1, 0.0. And that's really interesting things that you can like look at. And with this being able to tell me exactly what my router's doing, what the connection's doing from here to the DSLAM is kind of, you know, very impressive. And I really, really like this software from Asus. It gives you that kind of information. I wish more routers did that, where it gave you official information of what they're connected to, so you could run tests between you and that, and just make sure that that's working correctly, and so on and so forth. And maybe have like a chain of command all the way down, so you could see what's happening from you to the DSLAM to the provider, and then you know what's going on. And if you see anything, you could obviously call out the provider and say, look, I can see this happening with the DSLAM or with your end. Can you have a look into it, sort of thing? So this is a really cool piece of software. So big shout and salute to Asus for this really interesting piece of information. I really want to kind of maybe get in contact with them and see if I can get them to add maybe the ability to do the upstream bit, because that would be really cool. But yeah, anyway, I've spoken too long anyway. We've been talking about this for how long? For 29 minutes now, nearly 30 minutes on this topic, but I'll leave it here. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell Maybe even consider joining us. $1.99 gives you access to emotes and badges you can use when I'm live streaming. You can also have access to giveaways when I do giveaways for all my elites as well. You will become an elite convict or elite convicate. Elite convict is for boys, elite convicate for my ladies. And I also want to do charity work for people with autism and dementia. And it'll help towards buying new games, equipment, and obviously keep the running and upkeep of the channel. So if you want to help support that, then feel free to do so. If not, please consider liking the video. If you hit the notification bell, hit the notification bell again. So do it 2 times back to back. And make sure you set it to all so you are in notify of all of my videos rather than just specific set videos that you may have hit the notification bell for, because it may only provide videos based on what you tap the notification bell for in the first, so you get like limited videos rather than all videos. So make sure you set it to all. So if you haven't checked already, make sure you check it. Go to one of the videos, tick the notification bell, and just make sure that it is actually set to all, because sometimes you will not get notified for all the videos I do or posts or anything, in fact. So yeah, definitely check it out. Anyway, it is I, the Convict, signing out. As always, I salute you, my convicts, convicats, and salute to you, my elites. Please stay elite, stay beautiful, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your continued support. You are the driving force of the Kappa Convict channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, and keep staying elite. Thank you very much, everyone, and yeah, bye for now.